Suitang, implicit development of liberalism, Chan Buddhist mind autonomy and literati individual spirit. 3. 隋唐，自由主义隐性发展，禅宗心性自主与文人个体精神。Representative figures: 怀宁、申辉、王维、李白、刘宗元、刘禹锡。Representative classics: Platform Sutra, poems and essays of scholar, officials' core views. 1. Seeing into one's nature, self-liberation, no establishment of words, individual inner mind autonomy, negating absolute domination by external authority, dogma, and ritual. 2. Directly pointing to the original mind, sudden enlightenment, to Buddhahood. Individual spiritual liberation independent of institutions, churches, and hierarchy, all can attain the way autonomously. 3. Asserting individuality, spiritual freedom, unconstrained by ritual. Literati resisting secular order with independent will, aesthetic freedom, and moral integrity. Historical position: Chinese style mind liberalism fostered by the localization of Buddhism, continuing the individual-oriented lineage of Yangzhu Taoism, metaphysics, without political institutional form. 4. Songming, rise of liberal. Heterodoxy, rebellion of the school of mind and late Ming individual emancipation. 4. 宋明自由主义异端崛起，兴学反叛与晚明个性解放。1. Lu Wang school of mind, inner autonomy, nothing outside the mind, not taking Confucius as the standard of right and wrong. 1. 陆王心学，内在自主，心外无物，不以孔子是非为是非。Representative figures: Lu Zhiyuan, Wang Yangming, Wang Ji, Wang Zhen. Representative classics: Instructions for practical living, complete works of Xiangshan core views. 1. Mind is principle, innate knowledge exists within. Moral and value standards are inherent in the individual. Mind, not imposed by external ritual, classics, or authority. Learning values self-attainment, confidence in one's own mind. Independent individual judgment is higher than official ideology and rigid dogma. 3. The streets are full of sages. Equal individual value, breaking monopoly of hierarchy, status, and authority. Late Ming heterodoxy, Lai Ji, and the trend of individual emancipation. 晚明异端，理智与个性解放思潮。Representative figures: Li Ji, Jiao Hong, Tang Xianzu, the 3 Yuans of the Gong'an school. Representative classics: burning books, storing books, on the childlike heart core views. Theory of the childlike heart. True feelings, individuality are higher than ritual, Neo-Confucianism, and hypocritical ethics. Not taking Confucius as the standard of right and wrong, individual autonomous judgment of values, negating absolute authority of Confucian orthodoxy. 3. Selfishness is the human mind, affirming legitimacy of individual desires, interests, and emotions, criticizing asceticism and collective oppression. 4. Rebelling against Neo-Confucianism, respecting individuality, asserting desires, directly impacting the conservative order of Chengzu Neo-Confucianism, forming early Chinese Enlightenment liberalism. Or Ming-Qing to modern times, liberalism from undercurrent to modern transformation. Or 明清之际至近代，自由主义从前流向现代转型。1. Ming transition, criticizing autocracy, advocating individual and local autonomy. 1. 明清之际，批判专制，倡导个体与地方自治。Representative figures: 黄宗羲、辜扬武、王夫吉、唐赞。Representative classics: Waiting for the Dawn, records of daily knowledge, hidden book core views. 1. Criticizing monarchical autocracy as the greatest harm under heaven, restricting monarchical power, protecting autonomous space for scholars and people. 2. Valuing the private, the people, local autonomy, individual dignity, opposing autocracy, centralization, and extreme ritualism. 3. Inheriting individual-oriented thought since Yangzhu, preliminarily transforming into political liberalism. Modern China, introduction of Western liberalism and integration with native tradition. 近代中国，西方自由主义传入与本土传统融合。Representative figures: Yan Fu, Liang Qichao, Hu Shi, Ding Wenjiang, Zhang Zhongmai. Representative classics. On the boundary between group and self, Book of Freedom, Liberalism core views. Introducing natural rights, limited government, rule of law, freedom of speech, individual emancipation. Rediscovering native liberal traditions of Yangtze, metaphysics, school of mind, and late Ming heterodoxy, integrating Chinese and Western thought. Advocating individual freedom, intellectual INDEPENDENCE, academic autonomy, opposing autocracy, ritualism, and rigid conservatism. Historical position. Chinese liberalism first formed modern theoretical form, still suppressed by historical structure and mainstream conservatism, not becoming an institutional tradition. Summary of the full continuity of Chinese liberalism. 5. 中国自由主义全脉络总结 Unique origin, continuous lineage. Chinese liberalism takes Yangtze as its sole origin and theoretical peak, centered on individual orientation, valuing the self and life, sovereignty in the self, anti-authoritarianism, anti-sacrifice, anti-intervention, and spontaneous order. Running through Taoism, metaphysics, Chan Buddhism, school of mind, late Ming heterodoxy, Ming-Qing criticism, and modern enlightenment, forming a continuous undercurrent. Form dominated by spiritual freedom, supplemented by institutional freedom, consistently focused on mind freedom, emotional freedom, spiritual freedom, aesthetic freedom, and independent personality, lacking institutional construction of Western-style natural rights, social contract, limited government, rule of law protection, party systems, and public sphere. 4. Isomorphic but not homologous with Western liberalism. Sharing the core of individual priority, anti-authoritarianism, autonomy, and anti-intervention, but Western liberalism is structured by rights, contract, rule of law, and state neutrality, while Chinese liberalism is rooted in life, original mind, nature, and temperament, an Eastern form of individualism and liberal tradition. IT can most thoroughly refute the fundamental delusion of liberalism, the split and opposition between individual and society, and also remedy the bias of conservatism that may become rigid by clinging to order with solid scriptural basis, perfect doctrine, and direct insight into the root illness of modern civilization. Fundamental two truths, conventional provisional establishment, ultimate unique reality, core of Naha Yunas Madhyamaka. 二地根本 世俗假名安立，圣意唯一实相，龙树中观核心。Verse 20c of Nagarjuna's Mula Madhyamaka Karika. Examination of the Four Noble Truths. All Buddhists teach beings based on the two truths, the conventional truth and the ultimate truth. Those who do not understand the distinction of the two truths do not know the profound true meaning of the Buddha Dharma. Without relying on conventional truth, one cannot attain the ultimate truth. Without attaining the ultimate truth, one cannot attain nirvana. Conventional truth refers to phenomenal provisional designations, differentiated dependent origination, including self and other, person and self, individual and society, state and family, good and evil, ritual and law, established provisionally without negation or abolition, fully consistent with conservatism's emphasis on order, protecting wholesome DHARMAS, upholding community and valuing the common good. Ultimate truth refers to all phenomena being empty of inherent nature through dependent origination, non-self, and without independent existence. No fixed, split, independently existing self, nor an isolated, opposing society external to the individual. Individual and society arise interdependently, interpenetrate, and mutually accomplish, inseparable and originally non-dual. This is the sole ultimate reality.